Hello, I'm Megan Fox and I write for PJ Media, and I'm also an author of a couple of books, one of which is Shut Up, The Bizarre War the One Public Library Waged Against the First Amendment. You can find that on Amazon. Today I want to talk to you about something that is absolutely insane. There's a train wreck on Twitter, and sometimes I wonder, and I was asked by a friend, is Twitter real life? And I'm thinking, sometimes it feels like it's just fantasy. We're caught in a landslide. There's no escape from this reality. Twitter is crazy. I mean, it feels like sometimes if you're not on Twitter, you wouldn't have any clue what was going on. But it seems to have far-reaching consequences into real life, as we are seeing in this next story. This is the story that I just wrote about. This is the story everybody's talking about, and it is the dumbest thing you're going to see all day. And yes, I'm talking about the Covington High School students and the fake news. They are being dragged all over Twitter by CNN, NBC, USA Today. Every single major news source has painted these kids as racist because they stood and smiled at a Native American man. I'm not kidding. This is all they did, was smile and do some school cheers and laugh like teenagers do. If this can be considered racism, then we're done for. Like, what else? If you're a white person, you can't smile anymore. If we allow them to get away with this. Now let's go quickly to what I'm talking about, because this video could get way out of control with the time, because it is very detailed. Okay, we gotta get to where we're at. Here we go. All right, I'm using a new software, so if this doesn't work, that's why. I've done this video now 4 times, and hopefully I don't have to do it again. MAGA hat madness, hashtag fake news, and the mob. You can find this on the trending section on PJ Media and pjmedia.com. And here we have this poor boy. Oh my God, this kid. I don't envy him or his parents right now, because he is now the face of fake racism. It all started with this video. Now, this video was posted with no audio, and that was purposeful, because whoever did this wanted you to believe their narrative, which was that the kids behind him were jeering, mocking, and saying racist things to this man. Now, without audio, you don't know that, and it looks like that could be true. They also said that they were chanting "build the wall," which they weren't, but even if they were, that's not a racist thing to say. I think we should build a wall. Build that wall, build that wall. We need it. So that's not racist. That's protect our borders, okay? Here's the video. And there's no sound, and that's purposeful. Okay, so when I first saw this, I will admit that I fell for the CNN line. I fell for the narrative that perhaps these boys were being less than respectful, and I didn't like the way it looked. However, I did not run to the press, and I did not run to press and condemn them. I looked into it a little further, and within 5 minutes, I realized that this is big time fake news. All right, this is all that this kid does. Just stands there and smiles, okay? And for that, he's being called a racist. Look at what this person says. MAGA wearing white boy mocking Uncle Nate as he plays his hand drum. That's Nate Phillips, in Native American. This shit got me so heated. Remember this little shit's face and countless youth who think just like him. I have a question for you. How do you know what he's thinking? Because he isn't speaking. So you're a mind reader now? Everybody's a mind reader in this scenario. Everybody knows what this kid is thinking. Everybody knows he's a racist because he has a smile on his face. This is the dumbest story you will ever see. Okay, moving on. We have to move quickly because otherwise this will take me forever to upload. Here's the worst thing I saw in print so far. Thank you to Deborah Hine for pointing it out to me, but NBC reported the following idiocy. Listen to this. In social media videos of the incident, Phillips can be seen singing as a male taunts him smilingly and gets close to his face. Taunts him smilingly? Smilingly? Smilingly is not even a word, okay, NBC? And it's not an adverb. They're using it as an adverb, and the grammar Nazi in me is like, oh, stop it. Just, who edits this rag? Smilingly? Taunts him smilingly? And in all the definitions of the word taunt, the word smile should not be there. Because if you can't smile at someone without being seen to taunt them, well, this is going to be a very unfriendly world. Okay, very unfriendly world. We do not want that. Moving on. Kathy Griffin, nobody's example of an upstanding citizen, spent all night trying to dox these kids and get them killed. Here she is saying the reply from the school was pathetic and impotent, even though they apologized for nothing. They should not have apologized. Shame on you, Covington High School, for apologizing, because these boys did nothing wrong. Name these kids, she says. I want names. Shame them. If you think these efforts wouldn't dox you in a heartbeat, think again. Again, she's mind reading. She thinks she knows what they would do if they were in her situation. And I think that she is a liar. I think she's wrong. I think she's dangerous. And I think that should be sued for what she did to these kids. So that kicked off a whole doxing thing. Here's another one. Kirsten Powers at USA Today, even after being shown that these videos were not true, that the audio does not match the description, and the Native American walked into the crowd and he was not surrounded by these kids, and they were waiting for their bus. They were not there at the March for Native peoples. They were at the March for Life. They were waiting for their bus. Even after learning all these facts, this woman still says she can read this young boy's mind, and she knows that he's a racist. I mean, this is crazy. You should read this tweet. You can click on it in my article and read it. Okay, Nick Monroe has done a really good job putting all this stuff together on his Twitter feed. So if you want to see how it all works, and like how he's put it all together in the timeline, this is definitely a good account to follow for the details. He put up a bunch of stuff, so I've used this. Look at these headlines that the mainstream press did. The enemy of the people. The Independent says, MAGA hat boy's mother blames black Muslims for her son harassing Native Americans. And there's a backstory to that, too. We'll get to that. Outcry after Kentucky students in MAGA hats mock Native American veterans. MAGA hat wearing students who taunted Native American elder. And this is such garbage. That was Newsweek. Now here's another lunatic who is doxing the wrong person and causing untold havoc in his life. The kids are afraid that they're going to be killed. Our team has already spoken to a few who are terrified. Some of them are deleting social because they're afraid they'll be hunted and killed by left-wing activists reading fake news. And you know what? They have every right to be feared of that. Antifa runs around actually harming people, physically beating people up, pepper spraying them, smacking them with baseball bats, bike locks. Antifa is a far left organization that is doing actual physical violence to people. Kids in red hats have not been doing actual violence to people. That's just all a lie from the media. None of that is true. Even the pictures they show of like the Charlotte riot or whatever, none of them are wearing a hat. So these are people who are not wearing red hats, the ones who were getting into the fights on the streets. So it's a crock. CNN and others did not circulate the video of the racist Native Americans. Yes, I said it. They are racist, telling these kids they don't belong there and they should go back to Europe. This is not your land. That's what they were told. And in the face of that, these boys are standing there smiling. And CNN has this guy on, this Nathan Phillips, who is a big liar. And he claims that they were chanting "Build the Wall," which video proves is not true. They were doing their school chants, their school spirit chants. And they put this man up there like some kind of paragon of virtue, and he clearly lied. Here's what they were saying to him. You white people, go back to Europe. This is not your land. Now, I can't get the audio to work on this, but there's plenty of places you can go on. If you go on my article, you can click on this and you will hear it. Okay, they're saying, white people, go back to Europe. This is not your land. The Southern Poverty Law Center, of course, chimed in because they are the biggest hate group in the country. They would know, they seem to insert themselves into every single situation where they can make a conservative look bad. They say that the incident involving the students from Covington Catholic is harassment. No, what's harassment is what the media did to these kids. That's harassment. The fake news stories led to some major issues for the students at home. The Diocese of Covington condemned these children. Now, I don't know what you think about, I'm a Catholic. If the bishop did this to my kid without looking at the facts, without seeing all the evidence, without talking to the children, I would be so angry. I would be in his office tomorrow. I would not stand for this. This is absolutely wrong. It's unjust. And for a man of God, supposedly, to do this to children under his care is completely irresponsible. And you know what else? Boy, don't we wish that the Catholic Church would move this quickly when it came to child molesters. Don't we wish they would move this quickly when it comes to kicking Cardinal Wuerl out of his office? Don't we wish that the Catholic bishops would have the nerve to stand up to the child molesters in the priests who are diddling the, the kids in the seminary? Wouldn't we love if they would have this kind of motivation to stand up immediately and denounce that and condemn that? They don't seem to do that. They just always want to have mercy, 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 mercy for everybody except us. They just have all this mercy for everybody involved except us and our kids. They have no mercy for the kids who are abused, no mercy for the kids who are unjustly criticized like these children at their own Catholic school. Shame on them. And it's Catholic Schools Week this week. My God, what is wrong with the Diocese of Covington? They owe these boys an apology. They owe us all an apology. And my favorite agitator, James Martin, who claims to be a priest, who I'm really not sure about that. He may have his orders, but I don't know what kind of man this is, but he is not a Catholic priest. He says he is, but he's more of an agitator in the vein of Father Flager in Chicago. He's much more interested in causing controversy and speaking out against the catechism. He's a real slippery one. He claims to believe the catechism is true, but he does not. He's a heretic, okay? He denies the catechism of the Catholic Church when it comes to LGBTQ issues. He refuses to accept that the Catholic Church preaches and teaches that gay Catholics should be chaste. He wants gay marriage recognized. He is, and this is something that everyone can have their arguments on, and their opinions on, but the Catholic Church is a 2,000-year-old institution, and you can't just erase its teaching. You just can't do that. Now, you can treat people with love, you can treat people with understanding, and we can all recognize that we're sinners, and we all have equal share in sin, and we need to be very aware of what's going on with ourselves before we're concerned about others. But we cannot just turn our backs on the truth. And James Martin has a very heretical stance on LGBTQ issues in the church. So he's condemning these Catholic children. He has no problem condemning Catholic children for this 2-minute video with no context. No problem at all doing that. With no context, with no facts, who had just been at a Right to Life march, who had given up their time, given up their energy to be at a March for Life event, standing up for the right to life. He's condemning them. So a man who will not condemn what is against the catechism, which is clearly against the catechism, has no problem condemning children, Catholic children, who were at a Right to Life march. These are children who gave up their Minecraft and their Fortnite and partying and whatever else teenagers do to come to Washington, D.C. and be at a Right to Life march, marching against abortion. These children should be praised. They did nothing wrong. And this man who claims to be a priest, he is a disgrace for doing what he did to these children. Moving on. My favorite part of Martin's tweet is his half-assed retraction, which he says, I could be wrong. And the comments are so funny, like, you're always wrong. So he gave this half-assed retraction, which goes on for 13 long tweets, where in the whole thing, he still never apologizes to the kids who he condemned wrongly. He is wrong. He says that he would apologize for condemning the actions of the students if they were proven to be good, acting as good moral Christians. Oh, give me a break. Good moral Christians? That's what you're concerned about? It looks to me like they turned the other cheek. Okay, they were standing in the face of major harassment. What you didn't see in the video is that there were Black Hebrew Israelites who were screaming cracker at them, dusty ass cracker. What is saying white people are, the devil, saying that to a Black student that his white student friends were going to harvest his organs. They were saying anti-gay slurs.
You gotta claim your past, claim your true history, claim the Greeks, claim the Romans. The Greeks was a bunch of homosexuals, just like the Romans. You what? Back of your dollar bill, it says, "In God we trust," but you give faggots rights. The Bible condemns homosexuality, man.
They're still
Guess
humans.
what? And that's what see ya.
They were calling them the F word, F-A-G-G-O-T-S. I'm not saying that. They called them that word. They called them, they were spewing hatred towards gay people. I mean, there is a difference, people. There's a difference between upholding, the catechism and acknowledging truth and attacking people. There's a huge difference between acknowledging the sin and also, still having the person has dignity. I mean, a person is a person. And that's what these kids said to these activists. It was amazing. So they were spewing out this hateful stuff towards homosexuals and just did totally hateful stuff. And the kids were like, hey man, that's wrong. They're people. They were exactly right. Exactly right. And the idea that this man, this priest, is claiming that these children were anything but Christian. They were very tolerant, very tolerant. And that's what they are taught in school. I can tell you, my kids are in Catholic school, and if, in my opinion, it's too tolerant sometimes. They are taught to be too tolerant. There's a line about what do we tolerate? Do we tolerate sin? Or do we tolerate people, but also acknowledge the sin? And I think that that's the balance we need to come to, is that we love people, but we don't love sin. And James Martin keeps, marrying the two, and that's wrong. Now, and he's maybe too far on one side, and the black activists were like way too far on the other. Like, you can't condemn people. You're not God. We don't do that. We don't condemn people. I have sin problems. You have sin problems. Everybody has a sin problem. So we don't need to be condemning one another. We just need to be doing the best we can. But it is wrong to try and change a universal truth that has been around for centuries. It's wrong to try and change God's word. We may struggle with it. We may not understand it. I know. I wish it wasn't the way it is. I wish it didn't say what it says. But I can't make it go away, and I can't wish it away. I can't hope it away. There's nothing I can do other than accept it and move forward and love as many people as I can. And that's what we should be doing. Those kids did the exact right thing. They told those activists that was the wrong thing to do, wrong thing to say. They said, whoa, 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 they're people. Talking about gays, they're people. We don't treat people like that. Absolutely, 100% right on, right on. We don't treat people badly, no matter what they are, no matter who they are, no matter what they do. So these kids were absolutely 100% right. They were doing the Christian thing, and James Martin is a coward for not admitting that he was 100% wrong here. He needs to apologize to them. All right, the National Review chimed in, and of course their favorite pastime is kicking Trump supporters, especially when they're on the ground. And they had an article called, listen to this, the article was by Nicholas Frankovich. It's the title, "The Covington students might as well have just spit on the cross." Are you kidding me? They spit on the cross by being tolerant and silent in the face of harassment? Oh, Nicholas, you are a piece of work. And Rich Lowry took it down, and he did put up a statement that was sort of a retraction, but it wasn't an apology. His statement was basically like, well, we got snookered, and so I took it down. But he did not apologize, and I think that they should be bigger than that. I mean, you're the conservative press. You are not supposed to be like CNN. You're supposed to be better than that, and this was not better than that. It was really bad, and you should apologize, because this is horrific. You're calling these, and what is with all the judging anyway, including Father Martin? I thought we weren't supposed to judge one another. Judge ye not, and here they are judging the condition of these kids' souls. Really? Like Father Martin called them not good Christians. The National Review says they spit on Christ's cross. Who are you? Honestly, who are you? I'd like to look into your closet, James Martin, and I'd like to look into your closet, Nicholas Frankovich, and see what the heck you've been doing. Because I don't think that you have any right to judge the condition of another man's soul. No one does. No one does, except God. That is God's job. And boy, a lot of self-righteous people out there just desperate to, point fingers. Gateway Pundit, finally somebody interviews the kids. Well, they're telling a much different story, which video backs up. Now that we've seen the video with the audio, video backs it up. You can read all that here. I'm going to have to move on. One of the mothers did hit the nail on the head, though. She said, I personally think they were targeted because they had MAGA hats on. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, that's what happened. And yes, it is a shame that we cannot support our president in Washington, D.C. without the threat of violence or danger or slander all over Twitter by CNN. Oh my gosh, this is the worst story. It's like such a head palm day. I mean, I can't even believe this is happening. And then Dan Rather, the king of fake news. The king of fake news has weighed in, and with his moral pronouncements, Dan, we know who you are. We know what you did. We still remember that you tried to throw a presidential election by creating fake documents. Like this, you resigned in disgrace, and you have the nerve to comment on these kids? Wow. And of course, I mean, you can read his 3-tweet response. It's just ridiculous. But Dan, I have something to say to you. You are not the moral authority on anything. You have no leg to stand on. So moving on. So here's the thing about the media. Rush Limbaugh has called them the drive-by media for years now, and likening them to gang members who just open fire and then, drive on. And leaving strewn with bodies, leaving a line of bodies behind them. They don't care. They don't care. They come in, they get their story, they go, goes crazy viral, and people get all angry, and they don't care that they've reported everything wrong. They don't care that nothing they said was right. So the truth is now that if you are going to wear a MAGA hat or a Trump shirt, you better be prepared that you're going to either face violence or false witness, and then the media is going to come and cover for the people who are attacking you and going to make you look as bad as possible, because that's their goal, is to make Trump supporters look bad. That's what they've been doing. It's the only thing that's left is actual murder. Are they going to kill us next? This meme is so accurate. Okay, this meme, you can't go anywhere in a red hat without all these crazy people. And I've worn one. I don't know if you've done it in public, but I have, and it's super weird. Okay, it's super weird that people feel they can just walk up to you and berate you. I have an entire collection of political stuff. I've got mugs, my Kofifi mug. I've got t-shirts. I had a Gore Lieberman shirt that I used to wear everywhere that said "Sore Loserman" on it. It was hilarious. I had a Sarah Palin pin. I used to wear them all over the place. I had a Reagan t-shirt. I had Bush shirts. I used to sell them. They said "Babes for Bush." They were really cute. I'm a person who loves political gear. I've always loved it ever since I was a kid, and I've worn it all over the place. And I've never, ever been accosted until the Trump hat. Never. We are not different people. We are the same people that we were who voted for George W. Bush. The only difference is most of us became anti-war, so we're closer to you. I don't understand. You have a problem, not us. It's your problem that you can't handle life when you see a guy in a red MAGA hat. It says "Make America Great Again." What the heck is wrong with that? It's just a political slogan, like together. What was Forward Together? What was Hillary's? I don't remember now. But the problem is not with us. We are not the ones causing the division. You are. You're the one making people feel like they can't go out into the middle of this, can't go outside of their house with a certain hat on. It's stupid. I never in my entire life ever walked up to anybody wearing an Obama shirt or had an Obama sticker on their car or said anything to them, because it's none of my damn business what your political beliefs are, and that's up to you. I have no. We're getting kicked out of restaurants and told not to come into coffee shops, and there's signs up saying we're not welcome places. It's the new segregation, people, and it's got to stop. And you know what you all need? You need exposure therapy, because you're mentally ill. It's like having a phobia. You have a phobia, and in order to get over it, you need to be exposed to the thing that you're afraid of. You know how you watch these things on TLC and like things that people are afraid of, and My Strange Addiction or whatever, and then they put them through exposure therapy, where whatever the thing is, they get them exposed to it over and over again. Well, that's what you guys need. I think we should have a MAGA hat parade in our local towns and just wear it everywhere until it stops, until you get so used to seeing it that you understand we are among you. We're the same people you go to the Y with. Our kids go to school with yours. We are no different than we were 10 years ago and 15 years ago. We're the same people. We just believe in the same things we've always believed in: smaller government, lower taxes, strong borders. These are not controversial things. We're not racists. You are the racist. Those Native Americans are the racist. Those black people were the racists, telling the white kids that they're crackers and that this is not their land, go back to Europe and all that stuff. That's racist. Imagine if a white person said that to anyone who was brown, go back to where you come from. Oh my God, the reeing, it would be crazy. Anyway, I have to wrap this up. But go to PJ Media. Here's the article. I've showed you that. So go ahead and read that on PJ Media. It's under the trending section, and there's a lot of links in there if you want to hear more of the details. But I'm Megan Fox, and I'll see you another time.
of his